Hey Fields Falcons, it's Coach Hamilton coming to you from Fields Elementary. This week we're going to be focusing on tossing, catching, and throwing, okay? I know that some of us are at a different skill level when it comes to this area. Some of us are already in team sports where we play baseball or basketball or softball or whatever the case may be. And some of us may have never picked up an object or a ball before. So today I'm going to go through the different skills and techniques that you can do in order to be successful at either tossing, catching, or throwing, okay? So the first thing that we're going to work on today is going to be tossing, okay? I'm going to have an object, and my object today is going to be a bean bag. I know that most of us do not have bean bags at home. So we're going to use our imagination, or we're going to improvise, okay? You can use a balled up sock. You can maybe get a Ziploc bag and put a little bit of rice in it to kind of make your own little bean bag. But of course, before you do any of that, make sure that you get parents' permission before you make anything like that, all right? So when we are going to be tossing, here's a few key points that you want to think about, okay? Number one, you always want to keep your eye on the object. When you are focusing on your object and keeping your eye on it and following it, this is called tracking, okay? So for our first activity, we are going to be tossing inside of a target, and we are going to be doing an underhand toss. Yes, I know most of you are already into your overhand, but we're gonna get into that in just a minute, okay? So the first activity that we're gonna be doing is underhand toss inside of a target, okay? Now, let's get warmed up. Before we do that, because we're gonna be using our arms a lot today, we're gonna do a little bit of shoulder rolls, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're gonna go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're gonna take our right arm across our chest, just like this, and we're gonna stretch it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now take your left arm across your chest, keeping it nice and straight like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you're gonna take your arm, you're gonna reach it behind your head just like this, and you're gonna pull your elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should really feel that stretch right back in here in the back of your shoulders, okay? Grab your other elbow behind your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, for this activity, like I said, if you don't have a bean bag, you can improvise and use even stuffed animals, okay? So this is what this game is gonna look like. You're going to get about 5 or 6 different objects, okay? And you're gonna have a target in front of you. For example, I have a hula hoop in front of me. I know you may not have a hula hoop, so what you can do is you can make a circle, maybe with like your Legos, you can make a circle with stuffed animals, whatever the case may be, just make a target that you wanna be able to land your objects in, okay? Now, when we do our underhand toss, you're gonna start with your feet together at first, okay? Then, if you are right-handed, your left foot is going to come forward, and you are going to toss, keeping your eye on the target, inside your beanbag or your stuffed animal. You're going to toss it inside the target, okay? If you are left-handed, then the opposite foot is going to come forward, which is going to be your right foot, okay? I have the object in my left hand, my right foot is forward, and then I'm going to bring my arm straight back and toss underhand inside my target. Now, you can keep points as you're doing this, and as you start to feel more and more confident, you're going to step in opposition, keep your eye on the target, you're going to toss, good, and then maybe take one step back. I'm right-handed, so I always want to make sure that my left foot is forward. I have the object in my right hand, I'm keeping my eye on the target, and then I'm just tossing, okay? If you feel comfortable, go ahead and go back another step. So we're trying to see how far we can get as we keep making these objects into our target, okay? And you're gonna keep your points. If one of the objects happens to fall out of the target, that's okay, it doesn't matter. You just want to just keep trying until you can maybe challenge yourself and you get all the targets, or excuse me, all the objects into the target, okay? So this is gonna be your challenge for tossing, all right? once you feel comfortable and you feel like you've mastered tossing, now we're ready to move to our next activity, which is going to be catching, okay? So when you are starting to catch an object, the first thing I want you to remember is always start off with an object that is soft. We don't want anyone to get scared if you are tossing, for example, a softball or a basketball at someone or yourself. If you accidentally don't catch that and you end up hurting yourself, that's going to scare you, and then you're going to be really, really hesitant to want to try catching, to master it, okay? So, for example, you can have a balled up sock. I know these are little fuzz balls, but you can use a balled up sock. If you have a tennis ball handy, we can use a tennis ball. And if you have a larger object that's a little bit softer, that's going to be much easier to catch, okay? The larger the object, the easier it's going to be to catch, okay? Now, how exactly do we catch an object? Well, the first thing, of course, like we said, you always keep your eye on the object, okay? You never want to have your face turned away from somebody that is going to be throwing an object at you. You always want to keep your eye on it, okay? How do we do that? So we're going to be looking at the object. We're going to have our palms up, our thumbs are facing out, and our fingers are going to be a little spread, okay? You don't want to keep your hands cupped like this, because if the object is bigger than the size of your hands, then you're going to have a harder time catching it, okay? So you're always going to be ready. Your hands are out, your palms are facing up, thumbs are out, and so when an object is thrown at you, you're going to catch it. And if you're ready to toss an object to yourself, you're going to pick something up. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a medium-sized ball, okay? And you're just doing self-toss, and you're going up and catching, okay? Tracking the ball the whole time, and you can do a challenge. How many times can I do this in a minute without dropping it, okay? We're just self-tossing, you're throwing it up, palms are up, and you're catching, okay? Very, very good. Now, if you feel like you've mastered that with a big object, then you can move to something that's a little bit smaller, like a tennis ball, okay? And instead of two hands, now what we like to do is put one hand behind our back and we're tossing and catching, okay? All the while you're tracking the ball because you want to see where it's moving. You never take your eye off the ball, okay? It's important that we learn this because learning to throw and catch a ball develops excellent eye-hand coordination, okay? Now, once you've mastered the catching when you're doing self-toss, okay? If you want to slow it down a little bit, you can also use a beanbag. But once you've mastered it, what I recommend is you can either toss and catch with a partner, somebody at home, a family member, a sibling. If you don't have someone at home, then you can practice against a wall. And again, I recommend doing this outside. If you can do it inside, always get parents' permission, okay? So when you're ready to self-toss using a wall, you're gonna have a ball that has a good bounce to it, okay? And you can start off with underhand toss, all right? I'm using the wall right here in front of me in the gym, and I'm just tossing, I'm tracking the ball, and I'm catching it, okay? All the while, I have my palms up. And if that's a little too difficult, because again, it is difficult with a smaller ball, then I'm gonna move to a bigger ball. And I'm just gonna underhand toss, and I'm catching, okay? Nice and slow, depending on your skill level. It doesn't matter if you catch it or not. Here at Fields, we always tell you, boys and girls, we're not trying to build athletes, we're just trying to build your confidence, okay? We want you to try your best, and as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. If you feel comfortable, now the next thing that we're gonna move to is going to be throwing, okay? And now that you're in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, the way that we throw is going to be the overhand throw. And if you haven't mastered this yet, that's okay. We're gonna break down the skill for you so that you have a better understanding of how to do this, okay? So we're gonna start with our object, and again, we're always keeping our eye on the target, whatever it is that we're throwing at, okay? So I have a few balls here with me, and I'm gonna demonstrate this a few times, okay? So here's what you're gonna do. You're going to make the letter T with your body because you're pointing in the direction of whatever it is that you want to aim at, okay? We say, make a T. You're gonna make a muscle. You're bringing that object up to your ear, kind of like you have a telephone to your ear, okay? And then again, you're stepping in opposition. I'm right-handed, so my left foot is forward, okay? And then when you release, you're gonna come across your body, okay? You want to make sure that you transfer your body weight. So let's look at that again, okay? I'm gonna pick up my object, I'm gonna make the letter T. Look at my arms, it's like I'm making a letter T. And then we say, make a muscle, okay? You're bringing that ball up to your ear or the object. You can have a stuffed animal, whatever it is that you're using. Make a T, make a muscle. You're going to step in opposition. You're going to throw, and then you're gonna transfer your weight. Okay? Now, I'm gonna step back for this very last one because I wanna make sure that you're seeing my feet, okay? Now, again, I'm right-handed, so when I step forward to throw, I am stepping with the opposite foot. If you were throwing with your left hand, you have the ball in your left hand, then you would be stepping forward with your right foot, okay? So again, here's how we teach you guys. We say, make a T. You're pointing in the direction at what you're aiming at. Make a muscle. I'm stepping in opposition, okay? And then when I throw, I'm going to transfer my weight or my arm across my body, okay? Great job, guys. All right, now, how can we apply this in the real world? Let's say you're at home and you're like, well, how can I practice these skills? What can I do, coach, in order to have fun with this, okay? I'm gonna show you. Okay, boys and girls, now that we have gone through tossing, catching, and throwing, now we're gonna do a fun activity that you can apply at home, and I think it's gonna be easy for all of y'all. This activity is gonna be called Clean Your Room, all right? So it's gonna be easy. You're gonna be getting the objects that you have in your room, and the best part about this is you're gonna be doing something nice for your parents. You're gonna do something without being asked, and you're gonna clean your room. So if you look here on my floor, I have some things that look like laundry and stuffed animals. And I have a basket that could be like your laundry basket at home. And then I'm just gonna be getting those objects and I'm gonna be practicing tossing, throwing, see how many I can make inside the bucket. All right, so let's get started. I've got stuffed animals, I'm gonna do underhand toss. I've got a bean bag, I'm gonna go for overhand. I've got these jerseys, it looks like my laundry. So I'm just picking up and I'm trying to get these points. And the bonus part is, I'm cleaning up my area. You guys can clean up your room. You can practice your throwing and catching. Remember our overhand throw is make a T, make a muscle. You're stepping in opposition, and you're just trying to get into there, into that target, whatever it is that you're aiming at, okay? Oh, I missed that one. That's all right. That's one less point for coach. Okay, you can get as close or as far as possible. Now I'm going to try a little bit further back. I'm going to do the underhand toss. Step in opposition, keeping my eye on the target, and tossing. All right, one more. Step in opposition, underhand toss. And then the last one, I'm going to go ahead and do, let's see if I can do it from this distance here. Okay, I'm going to ball up my shirt, make a T. I'm pointing at my target, make a muscle. Step in opposition. Oh, I missed it. All right, guys, so now I want you to go to your room, and I want you to play this game called Clean Your Room and see how many points that you can score. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.